Maybe you'd like to hear the facts, the whole truth. If so, you've come to the right party. You see, the body of a young man was found floating in the pool of her mansion, with 2 shots in his back and 1 in his stomach. Nobody important, really. Just a movie writer with a couple of B pictures to his credit. The poor dope.
He was living in a room at the Key Club Hotel. Things were tough at the moment. He hadn't worked at a studio in a long time, so he sat there, calling up every producer he knew, over and over.
Mr. Sheldrake, I'm glad I caught you in. Yeah? Come on in, the door's open. Hold on, Mr. Sheldrake.
Stephen R. Gordon.
That's right.
I've come for the money.
What money?
Don't be cute. The money that you borrowed last week for big money.
Oh, that money. I'll get you the money. I just need a little more time.
Lenny's played ball with you long enough. You're 3 payments behind, and you're going to get hurt.
Get hurt? No, wait a moment. You're not going to hurt me over $500. I'll get you the money. Why won't you believe me?
I believe you. Now I want you to believe me. If you're not back in this hotel with $100 by 5 o'clock this afternoon, you'll know what getting hurt's all about.
You say the cutest things.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Sheldrake. Oh, it was nothing, just a delivery. Listen, are you gonna be there for 10 minutes? Okay. I'll be right over.
Well, he needed $100 and he needed it fast. By 5 o'clock this afternoon, I was going to find out what getting hurt feels like. His prospects looked pretty dim, so he called our producer, Sheldrake. He was a sharp producer with a set of ulcers to prove it, so he set out to see him in person.
So you're doing a great job. Take 5 and be back on the set with all your costumes in 5 minutes, all right? We're going to set up these lights now over here.
Mr. Sheldrake! Mr. Sheldrake! Oh, Gordon, Steve Gordon, right?
I'm over a barrel. I need work. Anything. Assistant editor. I'm desperate.
There's nothing, absolutely nothing I can do.
Listen, Mr. Sheldrake, could you let me have $100 yourself as a personal favor?
Could I? I got so many problems. Last year somebody talked me into buying a ranch. I had to borrow on my insurance and my taxes are due. I really can't do anything for you.
Frank Benjamin Agency. I'm sorry, Mr. Benjamin's at the golf course right now. I believe it is a Presidio.
Okay, thanks
The big faker. Was he hard at work trying to dig up an editing job for old Steve Gordon? He was hard at work out at the Presidio, making with a golf stick.
So you need $100. I got $100, but I'm not going to give it to you.
Why not?
Listen, Gordon, get this through your head. I'm not just an agent looking for 10%. I'm your friend.
Yeah, my friend.
Gordon, some of the best pictures in this town have been edited on an empty stomach.
Forget my stomach. I need $100 by this afternoon, or they're gonna break my legs.
That's the best thing that can happen to you. Then you're forced to sit at a table and edit.
I need $100.
Sweetheart, what you need is a new agent.
Takes. Now the time had come to wrap up this whole San Francisco deal and go home. Maybe if he hopped all his junk, he'd have enough for a bus ticket back to New Jersey. Back to that $150 a week job editing newsreels for a local educational channel. Back to the smirking delight of all those other editors. Let them go to San Francisco and try and make it. Just let them try it. He had landed himself in the service entranceway of a big townhouse, one that looked old, abandoned, and in a state of decay. But with that collector on the other side of the door, he still wasn't safe yet. Then he turned around, and there it was. What a beautiful sight. At the end of the entranceway appeared to be a gate that opened into the rear. As he slipped down the narrow passageway and looked around, he deduced that the owners must have moved out some time ago. A neglected house gets an unhappy feeling, and this one had it in spades. As he reached the gate, he found it was locked. So he started slowly back, hoping the collector would be gone. The house reminded him of that old decaying movie palace in Sunset Boulevard.
You there! Why are you up so late? Why are you keeping waiting so long?
Excuse me, there must be some mistake.
Stay here, Max.
This way. Follow me. You're not dressed properly for the occasion.
Stay in here, Max.
Well, maybe I'd better go.
This pantry, please. Madam is waiting. And if you need any help with the coffin, call.
This way. I put it in front of the mirror. She always used to be here looking into the mirror, see how pretty she is. I made up my mind to bury her in the garden. I want the coffin to be lined with silk, white silk, or perhaps red. No, let's make it half pink. Let's make it gay.
Let's make it gay. For a doll's funeral. Wait a minute. I know you. I know your face.
Get out, or I call my servant.
Why, you're Laura Lorda. You used to be in pictures. You used to be big.
I am big. It is the picture that got small.
I knew there was something wrong there.
They're dead. They're finished. There was the time in the business when they had the eye and the ear and the whole world because of me, Laura Lorda. Look at them sitting in the front offices. They mastermind. They took the idol and smashed them. And who we got now? So nobody.
Don't blame me. I'm not an executive, just an editor.
You say you are an editor? Cutting? Slicing? Nobody, more nobody. You run the business.
Quiet or you'll wake up the doll.
Get out! Max!
All right. Next time I'll bring along an autograph book. Maybe a slab of cement for your footprint.
Max!
I'm going.
Just a minute, you. You say you are an editor?
What?
Are you or are not you?
That's what it says on my guild card.
You have a picture, haven't you?
Sure have. Want a list of my credits?
Young man, tell me something. How long is movie nowadays?
Depends on what it is. A band film for MTV or Heaven's Gate.
This is a very important picture. I produced it and directed it myself. It took years.
Looks like enough for 6 important pictures.
This is the film version of Baby Love. I want Karl Hinz to produce it and direct it, but he was always busy with another project.
Yeah, sure. Karl Hinz.
We made a lot of pictures together.
And you played Diana.
Who else?
Only asking. I didn't know you were planning a comeback.
I hate that word. It is return and return to the million of people who have never stopped wanting to see me out there in that silver screen.
Fair enough.
What a woman. What a part. Her boyfriend treated her wrong. She went to San Francisco to rejoin her old singing group. She is a smash. Her boyfriend followed to the coast and asked her for forgiveness, but she rejected him for the stardom. Look at her. Look at the Rising Club.
Never let an editor touch your work.
Go ahead. I'm not afraid. Max, bring the chair. Bring something to drink. Go ahead. Turn the viewer. Roll the film. You'll see.
Well, he had no pressing engagements, except with that goon of Big Lenny's, and she had mentioned something to drink. Why not? Sometimes it is interesting to see how bad filmmaking can be. This promised to go the limit. Max wheeled in some champagne and caviar. Later, Steve found out that Max was the only other person in that grim Pacific Heights townhouse. As for her, she sat curled up like a watch spring, her cigarette clamped in a curious holder. He could sense her eyes on him from behind those dark glasses, defying him not to like what he saw, or maybe begging him in her own proud way to like it. It meant so much to her. It sure was a cozy setup, that bundle of raw nerves, and Max, and that dead doll. The reels went by, and darkness fell. It got to be 11. He was feeling a bit sick to his stomach, what with all that champagne and tripe he'd been viewing, that silly hodgepodge of melodramatic plots. However, by then Steve had started concocting a little plot of his own.
Well?
This is fascinating.
'Cause it is.
Maybe it's a bit too long. Maybe there's repetition. But then, you're not an editor.
Editor, I have put all my heart in this role.
That's what makes it great. What it really needs is some editing, though. It could certainly use having the extra takes of each scene cut.
Will not have a butcher.
Of course not. But it ought to be organized, conformed. Just an editing job. You can find somebody.
Who? I have to have somebody I can trust. When were you born? I mean, what sign of the zodiac?
Sagittarius.
Sagittarian. I like Sagittarian. You can trust them.
Thank you.
I want you to do this work.
Me? I'm busy. I just finished a picture, and I'm doing another assignment.
I don't care.
Look, I'm pretty expensive. I get $500 a week.
I make you worth your while.
Well, maybe I better take the rest of the reels home and view them.
Oh, no. I don't let them out of my house. You have to do it here.
Well, it's getting kind of late.
Are you married, Mr.?
The name is Gordon. Single.
Where do you live?
Lower Nob Hill, the Key Club Hotel.
Across town. In the Tenderloin, you mean? What is your car?
What car?
Well, then why don't you stay here?
He felt kind of pleased with the way he had handled the situation.
Nonsense.
He dropped the
There's a
bait,
room
and
in
she
the
snapped
kitchen.
at it.
Max can take you there. Max!
The room hasn't been occupied by a person for a long time.
Now he would be out of harm's way while he did a fast edit job on Baby Love. And there should be plenty of money in it,
Never
too.
make Architectural Digest, but I guess it's okay for one night.
I made your bed this afternoon.
Thanks. How did you know I was going to stay this afternoon?
The bathroom is over there. I put in towels, soap, and the toothbrush.
Say, she's quite a character, that Laura Lorda.
Greatest of them all. You wouldn't know. You're too young. In 1 week, she received 17,000 fan letters. Men used to bribe her hairdresser for a lock of her hair. There was even a Rajneesh who came all the way from Oregon to beg for one of her red silk stockings. Later, he strangled himself with it.
Well, I sure stumbled into an interesting townhouse.
You did, sir. Good night.
He pegged Max as slightly cuckoo, too. A stroke, maybe. Come to think of it, the whole place seemed to be stricken by a kind of creeping paralysis, out of beat with the rest of the world. This was her doll factory, or perhaps merely the ghost of a doll factory. Row after row of them, with their porcelain faces and eerie looks. And of course she had a pool, but there was something else going on out there. The last rites for that faded old doll. It was as if she was laying to rest her only child. Was her life really as empty as that? It was all very queer, and queerer things were still to come. That night he'd had a mixed-up dream. In it was a doll on a rocking horse, and the doll was rocking back and forth, as if in time of someone singing Maniac. When he opened his eyes, the scene was still there, but now all his belongings were there. He'd had a visitor. Someone had brought in all of his things, his cigarettes, his fast pass, even his Medi-Cal sticker. What was going on?
Maniac, she's a maniac.
Hey, you! Max, what are all my things doing here? I'm talking to you!
Why? What's the matter? Do you cigarettes, Missy?
You said you could bring my things. Who asked you to?
I did. I don't know why you should be so upset. It seemed like a good idea if you're going to work together.
Look, I'm supposed to edit your film. There's nothing in the deal about my staying here.
You like it here.
Thanks for the invitation, but I've got my own hotel room.
You cannot work in the hotel where you own 3 months' rent.
I'll take care of that.
It's all paid for.
Okay, I'll deduct it from my salary.
Now. Let's not be as good about your matter. We don't keep books. Max, unpack Mr. Gordon's cigarettes.
It is done, madam.
Well, pack them up again. I didn't say I was staying.
Suppose you made up your mind. Do you want this job or don't you?
Yes, he wanted the job, he wanted the cash, and he wanted to get out of there as quickly as he could. He thought if he really got going, he could edit the entire film in a couple of weeks. But it wasn't so simple, getting some coherence into those wild hallucinations of hers. And what made it even tougher was that she was around all the time, hovering over him, afraid he would do injury to that precious picture of hers.
What is this?
Just the scene I threw out.
Which scene?
The one where you're walking up to your old singing group's house. It's better to cut directly to your lover.
Cut away from me?
Well, honestly, they don't want you in every scene.
They don't? They wait their writing friends letters every day. Why? Why they begging for my photograph? Why? Because they want to see me, Laura Lorda. Put it back.
He didn't argue with her. You don't yell at a sleepwalker. She might fall and break her neck. That's it. She was still sleepwalking along the giddy heights of a lost career. Plain crazy when it came to that one subject, her celluloid self. The great Laura Lorda. How could she breathe in that house crowded with Laura Lorda? And more Laura Lorda. It wasn't all work, of course. 2 or 3 times a week, Max would haul down the screen, and they'd see a movie right in her ballroom. So much nicer than going out, she'd say. The plain fact was, she was afraid of that outside world. Afraid it would remind her the time had passed. They were always musicals. Max would run the projector and control the sound. She'd sit very close to Steve, and sometimes as they watched, she'd clutch his arm or his hand, forgetting she was his employer, just becoming a fan, excited about that actress up on the screen. I guess I don't have to tell you who the star was. They were always her pictures. That's all she wanted to see.
Look at the dancer. You ever see any dance like that today? Maybe there's only good dancer. Look at the face. You ever see any faces like that today? Maybe one. Olga the Volga. Those idiot producer, those imbecile, have they got any eye? And they forget how it look like? I show them, I be there again, so help me.
Sometimes there would be a little poker game at the house, with junk jewelry and cheap makeup as the ante. Steve would get half our winnings. Once they amounted to the entire Revlon BlackBerry line, and that was all he ever walked away with, and he didn't need it. The others around the table would be actress friends, them figures you may still remember from the Hotel Utah. He used to think of them as her waxworks.
My proposal pink, very rare and never used.
Oh, ooh.
Hurry up, Madeline.
Vivian,
Very impressive.
I'll see you, my Panama red lipstick. And I'll raise you, the hopeless emerald.
Shit. Oh my God.
Letitia, dear?
Well, I'll need my protective foundation for later, so I guess I fall.
Steve, darling, please empty the Doria straight. I'm ready to barf.
And Max, more Pepsi, please.
I'll have one too, and put some gin in it.
Darling, he's not a servant.
He's divine. Wherever did you find him?
yes, simply adorable.
Keep your hands off him, please.
Vivian, you're cheating again.
There's a man outside to see you. Come on here. That's what I told him. Good. He claims you owe him some money.
What's the matter, Steve, darling? Move your flabby ass here. Where's the gin? Steve, where is the ashtray?
I have to talk to you.
Now, please.
Look, he's come for the money. I need money.
Can you wait until this ends?
No, not now. I need the money now.
Now I forget how much is in the pot. Now.
Look, I need the money
No, please.
Look, I can't wait till later.
This can wait. Now, please.
No!
I saw Congo Confidential on the TV the other night. Still a pretty good picture.
All right, back to the game. Whose turn is it?
It's your turn, Madeline.
Oh, all right then. I'll raise you this much.
I can concentrate with this. Girls, deal me out. Now, what is this? What is the fire?
This guy is going to get nasty if I don't pay up.
How much you owe the gentleman?
500 clams.
Oh, is that all? Max, pay this man now. Come on, Steve. That dreadful shirt you're wearing.
What's wrong with it?
Nothing. If you wear for Pepsi Cola, I'm getting bored to see you with the same jacket and the same jeans. Max, what is the best tailor in town?
Salvatore Tito.
Let's get it.
I don't need any tasteful clothes, and I certainly don't want you buying them.
Ti grazie, mio telephone. Mas you, sugar?
Well, Salvatore Tito came and went, and now Steve was dressed to suit a queen, a movie queen.
Max, has Laura ever been married?
Madam has been married 3 times.
And what's this with the doors? There aren't any locks.
There are no locks anywhere in the house.
How come? There must be a reason.
The doctor suggested it.
What doctor?
Madam's doctor. Madam has moments of melancholy. There have been some attempts at suicide.
Oh?
Yes, we have to be very careful. No sleeping pills, no razor blades. We shut the gas off in Madam's apartment.
bit. Why, her career? She's gotten enough out of it. She's not forgotten. She still gets those fan letters.
I wouldn't look too closely at the postmarks.
You send them. Is that it, Nix?
I'll press your evening clothes. I take it Mr. Gordon has not forgotten Madame's evening party?
No, I haven't. I suppose all the waxworks are coming.
I wouldn't know. Madame has made all the arrangements.
It was at her evening party that he found out how she felt about him. Maybe he'd been an idiot not to have sensed what was coming. That sad, embarrassing revelation.
Oh, how I love the tango. Steve, you look absolutely divine. Turn around, darling.
Please.
Perfect. Wonderful shoulder. I love the line.
It's all padding. Don't let it fool you. You know, to me, getting dressed up used to be putting on my long pimp coat.
Cute. Leave something to drink. Max.
Shouldn't we wait for the others?
Max, champagne. Come on, darling, let's dance the tango. Don't lean back like that.
It's that thing. It tickles. It's 10:15. When are the others arriving?
Who?
The other guests.
It is not another guest. I don't want to spoil the evening with the other people. It's just for you and me.
Oh?
Hold me tight, darling. What I want for next year is going to be, when I finish Baby Love, I will buy you a boat and we sail to Hawaii.
Stop it. You're not going to buy me anything more.
Shut up. I'm rich. I got $1 million.
Good. Keep it.
I own 3 blocks in downtown. I got oil and Bakersfield. Pumping, pumping, pumping. What's it for? To buy us anything we want.
Cut out that us business.
What's the matter with you, darling?
What right do you have to take me for granted?
What right? Do you want me to tell you?
Has it occurred to you that I might have a life of my own? That there might be some girl that I'm crazy about?
Who? A performance girl? A new wave girl? A punk rocker with a mohawk?
What I'm trying to say is, I'm all wrong for you.
What you're trying to say is, you don't want me to love you? Say it. Steve!
He didn't know where it was going. He just had to get out of there. Had to be with people his own age. Had to hear somebody laughing. There was bound to be a show going on at the on-Broadway. Bartenders without a bar, composers without a band. Guitarists so young they still believe the guys in the booking office.
26 records and a bottle of wine. Bobby got the leukemia. 14 years old, he was like 65. When he died, he was a friend of mine. All the people who died, died. All the people who died. All the people who died, died. All the people who died, died. They were all my friends. They died.
Hey, Steve, where'd you get the outfit? What'd you do, rob a bank?
No, not quite. Gwen, Danielle, long time no see. Listen, Danielle, you still got big apartment over in the Western Addition? I need a place I could stay for a few days. Think you might be able to help me out?
For you, Steve, I'm sure we can work something out.
Nice coat, Steve. How have you been keeping yourself?
Well, I haven't been keeping myself at all. Well, listen, I'll be right back. I gotta make a phone call.
I saw them and at Rico's together and figured it out. Another case where there's the older woman who's well-to-do and the younger man who's not doing too well.
You believe and then just didn't get divided. Authority, man. Steward number, steward. And some people, I don't know. Looks like some campers. I can't know. Well, I guess I better get off the phone. Phone's free.
Hello, Max. This is Mr. Gordon. I want you to do me a favor. Yes, you do. Listen, I want you to get my old suitcase and the cigarettes, the ones I came with. Doctor, what's going on? Max! Max!
Hey, mister, you got to hang up the phone.
Max, where is she?
What kind of silly thing was that to do?
To fall in love with you? This was an idiotic thing to do.
Sure would have made attractive headlines. Great star kills herself for unknown editor.
Great star, have a great pride. Go away. Leave me alone. What are the girls of yours?
He's not here. No one here can give you any information. And you will please not to call again.
Max, who was it? What is this?
Nothing, madam. Someone inquiring about a stray dog. It seems the pound has a number similar to ours.
A month later, Baby Love is finally re-edited.
Max, you're about to take the film to Sideshow and deliver it to Mr. Hinz in person.
Very good, madam.
You're not really going to send that print to Karl Hinz.
Oh, yes, I am. Today is the day.
I hope you realize, Laura, that selling a film has changed quite a bit.
I'm not selling the film. I'm selling myself. Mr. Hinz always says I was the greatest star.
When did he say it, Laura?
All right. This was quite a few years ago. But I never looked better in my life. And you know why? Because I never feel so happy in my life.
Whenever she suspected Steve was getting bored, she would show him stereoscopes of Congo Confidential. The first number was always the Jungle Queen.
What's the matter, darling? Why you are so glum?
Nothing's the matter. I'm having a great time. Show me some more.
Oh, look. This was so fascinating to dance with those black dancers.
Madam is wanted on the telephone.
I told you not to interrupt me.
Sideshow is calling.
Who?
Sideshow Productions.
Now, do you believe me? I told you can't go for it.
It is not Mr. Hinz in person. It is someone by the name of Gwen Waters. She says it's important.
Important enough for Karl to call me? The very idea to have some assistant to call me. Tell her that I am busy. Hang up.
Very good, madam. Madam is busy.
How do you like that? We made 12 pictures together. They were his greatest.
Maybe he's busy. Maybe he's shooting.
How I know his trick? He tried to make my price down. I wait 10 years for this call. Now Karl can wait until I'm good and ready.
About 3 days later, she was good and ready. Incredible as that may seem, there had been some more of those urgent calls from Sideshow Productions. So she put on about a half pound of makeup and set forth to see Karl Hinz in person.
Okay, das Rohr darüber. Klar, okay. Und ihr setzt euch weiter zusammen. Ja, so ist besser. Nimm das Glas in die Hand. Das ist gut. Du bleibst still da. Hier die Lampe ein bisschen rüber. Okay, das ist nett. Ja, fein so.
Laura Lorda kommt, Sie zu sprechen.
Laura Lorda? It must be about that awful movie of hers. What can I tell her? What should I say? Hello, young fellow.
Hello, Mr. Hinz.
It's great seeing you again. I must apologize for not having called you.
You better. I'm very angry.
Well, you see, I'm terribly busy.
There's no excuse. You saw the film, of course.
Yes, I did.
You can pick up the telephone yourself and call me, not to put one of your assistants to call.
Was sagt sie?
Warum hast du das Telefon Ihrem Assistenten überlassen?
Who?
Yes, you must like the movie when the phone rings about 10 times a day.
Why don't you have a sit up here, Laura? Sag ihr, sie soll es sich bequem machen. I'll be right back with you.
Make yourself comfortable over here.
Give me Gwyn Waters on the phone. Hey, Miss Laura, it's me up here, Goucher.
Hello, Goucher.
Let's have a look at ya.
Laura Lorda. I thought she was dead.
It is Laura Lorda. Laura, you been? Look at those diamonds. Gosh, I have all your posters. You look great. Did you autograph this one? You still must be rich, aren't you? Hello, Gwyn. Have you been calling Laura Lorda? I see. Thank you anyway. Okay, now schon Minuten zurück auf Posten. Thank you so much for the Plätze alle back here.
Oh, do you see them? Do you see how they came?
I got a hold of Gwyn Waters. You know, crazy things happen in this business sometimes. I hope you haven't lost your sense of humor. What's the matter, dear?
Nothing. I didn't realize how happy I am to come back to the old studio. I miss it so much.
We missed you too, dear.
We're going to work again, Chief. We make the greatest pictures.
Well, that's what I want to talk to you about.
It's a great film.
It has some good ideas, but it's a very long movie.
I don't care about the length. I just want to work again. I just want to be on the screen.
Nothing would please me more, Laura, if it were possible.
And remember, darling, I don't work before 10 in the morning or after 4:30 in the afternoon.
Fertig für die Aufnahme, Herr Hinz.
Danke. Why don't you sit right here and watch? You know, pictures have changed quite a bit. Also, weiter hier im Programm. Okay, ihr geht auch rüber. Rüber.
So Karl Hinz didn't have the heart to tell her the truth, so he let her think he would distribute Baby Love after finishing his picture. After that end, an army of beauty experts invaded her townhouse on Lombard Boulevard. She went through a merciless series of treatments, like an athlete training for the Olympic Games. She counted every calorie, went to bed every night at 9. She was absolutely determined to be ready. Ready for those pressed flash bulbs that would never flash. Ready to be the star of that movie that would never be released.
I don't want you to see me like that. I don't look very attractive.
Good night.
You know, I lost half a pound since Tuesday.
Good.
You were out last night, don't you, Steve?
Why do you say that?
Happen to know. I have a nightmare. I screamed for you. Where were you?
All right, I went to the On-Broadway. I wanted to see a band. Laura, you don't want me to feel as if I'm locked up in this house, do you?
Of course not, Steve. I just don't want to be left out alone, not when I'm in this terrible strain. My nerve been torn apart. I only ask you to be a little kind.
Laura, I haven't done anything.
Of course you haven't. I will not let you. Good night, darling.
Yes, he was playing hooky every night.
The morning paper's not here yet, Laura.
He just had to get out of there and away from her for a while. He'd sneak in early before she'd get up, but sometimes she would be waiting, still awake from the night before.
What is it, Max? Doing a little spying in your off hours?
You must be careful when you go up the stairs. Madam may be watching by her bedroom door.
How about using the servant stairways? Will that do it?
I'm not inquiring where Mr. Gordon goes every night.
Why don't you? I'm just going to nightclubs to see friends.
It's just that I'm greatly concerned about Madam.
Sure you are. And we're not helping her any, feeding her lies and more lies, getting herself ready for the preview. What happens when she finds out Baby Love will never be released?
But she never will. That is my job. It has been for a long time. You must understand, I discovered her when she was 16 years old. I made her a star. I cannot let her be destroyed.
You made her a star?
Yes, I directed all her early films. There were 4 young directors of great promise in those days. Roman Polanski, Beret, Karl Hinz, and Max von Meyerling. It was I who asked to come back, humiliating as it may seem. I could have continued my career. Only I found life unendurable without her. You see, I was her first husband.
Are you there, Steve? Steve, I said you? Are you there? From Baby Lorda this storming? You don't know how I've been the last few weeks. I got myself a gun. I did. I went in front of the mirror to try to kill myself, but I couldn't do it. Don't you stand there hating me? Yell me, slap me, but don't hate me. Say you don't hate me. Steve, where you going? Steve, darling, where you going? Steve, Steve, Steve. Steve! Steve!
Yes, he was finally leaving, packing a few things he had actually come with, but it would not be that easy.
May I come in, Steve? I'm gonna start crying. I'm alright again. Steve, tell me you're not cross. Tell me everything is the same again. Steve, what are you doing? Steve, where are you going?
I'm packing my cigarettes.
Are you leaving?
Yes, I am, Laura.
Oh, no, you're not. Max!
Thanks for the use of the handsome wardrobe. And thanks for the use of all the food stamps. The rest of the cigarettes are in the top drawer.
These are yours. I've given it to you.
And I'll take it in a second, only there's no smoking or eating at the editor's desk back in New Jersey.
These are nothing. You can have anything you want. What does he want? Money? A carton of cigarettes?
Laura, you'd be throwing it away. I don't qualify for the job. Not anymore.
No. You can go. I can face life without you. And you know, I'm not afraid to die.
That's between you and yourself.
Do you think I made up of the gun? Don't you? Now, do you believe it, don't you? I suppose you don't believe I had the courage.
Oh, sure, if it would make a good scene.
You don't care, do you? For hundreds of thousands of people, they still care about me.
Oh, wake up, Laura. You'd be killing yourself to an empty house. The audience left 10 years ago.
It is a lie. They still want me.
No, they don't.
What about the studio? What about Karl Hinz?
He just wanted to spare your feelings. The studio only wanted to use your doll collection.
Wanted what?
Karl didn't have the heart to tell you. None of us has had the heart to tell you.
It is a lie. They still want me. I got letters every day.
Tell her, Max. Come on, do her that favor. Tell her there isn't going to be any release, and there aren't any fan letters except the ones you write.
It isn't true, Max.
Madam is the greatest star of them all. Now, we'll take Mr. Gordon's cigarettes to the car.
You hear him.
Laura, you're a woman of 38. Now grow up. There's nothing tragic about being 38. Not unless you're trying to be 25. Goodbye, Laura.
No one's ever leave a star. Steve! 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 Stars are ageless, aren't they?
Well, he got the pool we always wanted, and this is where we came in. But they are all here now, and the police must have photographed him 1,000 times. Then they fished him out ever so gently. Funny how gentle people get with you, once you are dead. They beached him like a harpooned baby whale and started to check the damage, just for the record. By this time, the whole house was jumping, filled with more police, detectives, reporters, photographers, onlookers, and passers-by. As much hoop-to-do as we get in San Francisco when they kill a politician. Even the news cameras came roaring in. Here was an item everybody could have some fun with. The heartless so-and-sos. What would they do with Laura, even if she got away with it in court? Crime of passion, temporary insanity? Those headlines would kill her. Forgotten star slayer, aging actress. Yesterday's glamour queen.
I want to speak to the coroner. Who's on this phone?
I am. Hello, City Desk? Hedda Hopper speaking. I'm talking from the home of Laura Lorda. Don't bother with a rewrite, man. Take it direct. Ready? As day breaks over the murder house, Laura Lorda, famous star of yesteryear, stands in a state of complete mental shock. A curtain of silence seems to have fallen around her. She stands transfixed at the top of her ornate stairs, oblivious to the pressing crowds of police and reporters that surround her.
Quarrel.
Did you two have problems?
If it was a sudden quarrel, how come the pistol was right there?
This guy, where'd you meet him?
Where did he come from? Who is he?
Did you hate him?
Was it premeditated?
Was theft involved?
Did he steal anything?
Get him out of here. Wait a minute, that's a good idea. Follow the camera, Cora.
So they were running after all, those cameras. Life, which can be strangely merciful, had taken pity on Laura Lorda.
All right, gentlemen. I am ready for my scene.
Quiet on the set.
Are you ready, Laura?
Yes, I am. Which scene? Where am I?
You're on the island in Congo Confidential.
Oh, yes, yes. I am ready for my scene.
All right. Lights, cameras.
I can go on with the scene. I am too happy. Will Mr. Hein mind if I say a few words? Thank you. I just want to tell all of you how happy I am to be back at the studio to make another picture again. You don't know how much I miss all of you. And I promise I will never desert you again. Because after Baby Love's release, I will make another picture, and another picture, and another picture. Because this is my life, nothing else. Just us, and those cameras, and those wonderful people there in the dark. All right, Mr. Hines? I am ready for my close-up.